Hi everyone, dear Leturer friends and family in Asia. Thank you for joining this coaching webinar. Nice to meet you all. My name is Joo Hee Park, and it is great to be here with you to give my lecture about gender equality in sport. Based on my diversity experience in the international sporting field, gender equality is a very important topic to know. I hope you enjoy and feel free to ask any questions you may have. My lecture is designed to give you the introduction first and go on to the gender equality in sports and gender equality in archery, looking on to the gender equality goals from IOC, which is International Olympic Committee, and conclusion. Gender equality is when people of all genders have equal rights, responsibilities, and opportunities. Everyone is affected by gender inequality. Woman, man, gender diverse people, children, and families. Impacts people of all ages and backgrounds. The IOC has implemented gender equality initiative so that girls and women around the world are being given greater access and opportunity to participate in sport. Looking through the UN Sustainable Development Goal number 5, which is aimed to achieve gender equality, is an empowering all women and girls. Defines that gender equality is not only the fundamental human right, but a necessary foundation for all peaceful and sustainable world. There is a total of the 5 targets to achieve UN SDG Goals 5. Into the subsection details UN SDG Goals 5 focus to end discriminations against women and girls, eliminate forced marriages and genital mutilation, and targeting to end discrimination against women and girls, eliminate forced marriage and genital mutilations, and value unpaid care, and promote shared domestic responsibilities. Also aim to ensure full participants in leadership and decision making, which is give full and effective engagement and equal opportunities for leadership at all levels. Last but not least, target 5.6, ensure universal access to sexual and reproductive health and reproductive rights as agreed according to the program of action of the International Conference on Population and Development. This graph shows the global gender gap index based on Global Gender Gap Report 2022. We can see the top 10 economies have all caused more than 80% of their gender gap, and it will take 132 years to reach gender equality. Gender equality, especially in sports, is more than cause. It's a human right, and it's a fundamental principle of Olympism. The IOC seeks to honor and advance every day within the sporting arena and beyond. As an organization, as honor of the Olympic Games, and as of the leaders of Olympic movement, since the first Olympic Games, which women were allowed to compete in 1900, until the first gender balance games in Tokyo 2020. Here we can see the women's participation in the Olympic Games, which we are expecting to see Paris 2024 to have exact gender equality in athlete participation 50-50. The Olympic Games have grown to be the largest gender equality sporting event in the world. However, this was not always the case. Women athletes first took part in the Olympic Games in Paris in 1900, 4 years after the first Olympic Games of the modern era. Female participation has increased continuously since then, with the woman accounting for more than 48% of the participants at the 2020 Games in Tokyo, compared with 23% at the 1984 Games in Tokyo. Archery was among the first of the included women's events at the Olympic in 1994. Special World Archery was the first international federation to have the female president. The available prize money on the Hyundai Archery World Cup has been equal since the international circuit inception in 2006. Archers have shot the same international distance since 2013, when the 40-40 round was retired. But there is still progress to be made. Work to ensure access, opportunity, and reward are equal between men and women at all levels, in all countries, must carry on. Tokyo 2020 is known as the first ever gender-balanced Olympic Games in history, with almost 48% of the athletes are women. Archery had shown gender equality for the athlete quota in Tokyo 2020 with 64 men and 64 women. Also mixed team competition made its Olympic debut with men and competing together. Gender equality was made by this masterpiece from the IOC Olympic Agenda 2020. The recommendation 11, which aimed to foster gender equality, to work with the International Federation to achieve 50% female participation in the Olympic Games and to stimulate women's participation and involvement in sport by creating more participation opportunity at the Olympic Games. The IOC has implemented gender equality initiative so that girls and women around the world are being given greater access and opportunities to participate in sports. As you know, sports is one of the most powerful platforms for the promoting the gender equality and empowering women and girls. IOC Gender Equality Review Project was implemented by the IOC Working Group chaired by Marisol Casado. She is the IOC member. This project finding emphasizes that gender equality initiatives are to be successfully implemented and sustained. There are 25 IOC gender equality recommendations covering 5 key topics, which are first, sports, second, sport layer, third, funding, fourth, governance, fifth, human resource and monitoring and communications. Recommendation number 1. Olympic Games participation ensure there is a full gender equality in athletes, quotas, and medal event for both gender from Olympic Games 2024 and Olympic Winter Games 2026 onward. For all teams, sports, discipline, and events, ensure an equal number of the team and suitable and equal number of the athlete for both genders. For all individual events, the number of the female and male participants should be equal for event and per discipline. Recommendation number 2, competition format and technical rules ensure the competition format, related distance, duration of the competition, segment, number of the round, etc. between women and men as equal as possible. Recommendation number 3, uniforms ensure that competition uniforms reflect the technical requirements of the sport and do not have any unjustifiable difference. Equipments, technical officials, and coaches are recommended to be the balanced gender representations as well. Venue and facilities. Moreover, competition schedule is recommended to be equal representation and especially medical for both male and female athletes should be conducted equally. The safeguard the athlete from harassment and abuse. In sport, included in IOC basic principle of good governance, IOC implemented the IOC Safeguarding Officer Certificate Program aimed at those who has been appointed or will be appointed as safeguarding officers, served as a focal point for safeguarding issues, work in the field of the sport integrity for nation and international levels, national Olympic committees, national federations, and international federations. First session of the courses students have been started in September last year and completed the course in April in this year. And second start just finished the application last July. So for those of you who are interested, please apply for the third, which is start next year. Recommendation 11, focus on the transition of female Olympians into their post-competition retired athlete career and maximize the use existing programs. Recommendation 12, balanced and media portrayal of both genders. The IOC requires its administration to establish principle of guidelines for fair and balancing portrayal in all forms and communications. Recommendation 13, Organization Committee for the Olympic Games as part of a commitment to respect the Olympic Charter and to protect the Olympic brand. Organizing Committee will provide fair and equal portrayal of women and men at all aspects of the Olympic Games. Recommendation 14, communication, partnerships. The working group endorses the need for all media to offer fair and equal portrayal of sportswomen. The IOC should implement mechanisms to address and monitor this objective with Olympic movement, stakeholders, and partners. Recommendation 15, funding requirement. The Olympic movement allocate a portion of an operation budget to achieve the goal for gender equality on the field of play, in governance and its own administration. Recommendation 16, NOC and IF initiative. Recognizing the sum NOC and IF already allocated specific funding to women's programs. The working group strongly recommends that other organizations initiate this same practice. Recommendation 17. Equal payments. NOC and IF to establish mechanisms to address inequalities between genders in prize money or other asset payments. Recommendation 18 and 19 focus on the governance which the IOC to establish strategic mechanism to increase the pipeline of female candidates for governance roles and ensure electoral progress reflect its commitment to diverse and balanced memberships. Recommendation 20. NOC and IF electoral process. The Olympic movement partnership should review their electoral progress with a view of developing strategies for gender balanced representation in their governance bodies. Recommendation 21. Roles and responsibility. The IOC and Olympic movement stakeholders should be addressed the issue of the marginalizations by the women and men sharing responsibility for the implementation and sustainability of the gender equality. In their organization and ensuring women have roles of influence and decision-making responsibility in the organization's administration and governance. Recommendation 24. Gender equality leaderships. To ensure the senior IOC executive coordinated all gender equality activity impacting the IOC administration and impacting Olympic movement stakeholders. Recommendation 23. Monitoring and tracking system. Implement a tangible reporting system to monitor, measure, and evaluate gender equality active and results on an ongoing basis. This monitoring and reporting mechanism need to be straightforward, user-friendly, and efficient, coordinated across these function, area, and organizations. Recommendation 25. Communication plan. The working group underscores the need for a comprehensive communication plan to widely disseminate the project outcomes on an ongoing basis. A communication plan comprised of multiple activation is required to create awareness of the project gender equality initiative as well as to empower administrators, athletes, games officials, and decision makers. To steer our collective efforts for gender equality and inclusion, the IOC has set two key commitments to be achieved by 2024. Consolidate the Olympic Games as one of the most effective global platforms for the promoting gender equality, inclusion, and diversity. Lead by example and support by acceleration of women's meaningful representation in governance, leadership, and decision-making bodies in the Olympic movement. To guide work toward the achievement of this commitment, the IOC has set concrete gender equality and inclusion objective for 2021 to 2024. The providing framework for mainstreaming gender equality at all levels of the Olympic movement. Going on to the conclusion, I believe continuous work to ensure access, opportunity, and reward are equal between men and women at all levels in all countries must be carried on and on. Healthy and respectful relationship creates equal opportunities. Approval of IOC. The New Zealand transgender athletes compete at the Tokyo Olympic Games in weightlifting. And both men and women athletes entered together since Tokyo 2020. This is a significant milestone for inclusiveness and more of gender equality in sports. As you know, gender equality is everyone's responsibility. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy my lecture. So I will conclude my presentation. Finally, this is a video provided by IOC. Please have a look, and thank you once again for your participation. Thank you.